I've gotten probably 6 hours of sleep combined within the past 3 days, so I'm pretty cranky. I have a 4-month-old that I've been avoiding taking to the hospital because of germs, but I had to bring her for an hour while my mom came to get her. We stayed in the waiting room because I don't think babies can be in the ICU, plus I wouldn't want her there anyways. A little girl, maybe 2 or 3, was in the waiting room too. It was just my family and hers, and there was about 4 or 5 people in her group and 15 in mine. I know it's a lot, but we thought my grandmother was about to pass any moment at this time. Anyways, this little girl started taking my nicest dolls at first and not giving them back. Then screaming her head off and trying to go into the ICU. Her family would just tell her to come back to them, and she would for a moment then go right back to it. She started crawling on top of my brother-in-law, and he was getting super annoyed. Then she noticed me holding my baby and came to look at her, which I didn't mind. My baby is 4 months now and loves grabbing at toys and chewing on everything. Now this little girl started pulling the toys out of my baby's hands repeatedly, and her mom from across the room just kept saying, "Lana, give it back," but she wasn't listening. This went on for like 5 minutes until she grabbed my baby's hand again and very roughly tried pulling her fingers from off her toy. Babies always have a tight grip on everything, so she started pulling hard. I said loudly and pretty pissed off, "No, this isn't yours, go back to your mom." She started crying a little and ran to her mom, who was obviously pissed off, and she said, "You have no right talking to my daughter that way," and I replied, "If you would watch why, our kid, I wouldn't have to." And that was that. My family is on my side because they was getting pretty annoyed too. She also threw one of those hard water balls at my elderly uncle and it hit him in the chest. I feel like I'm in the right, but I have the really bad guilt feeling in my chest for talking to somebody else's kid like that and making them cry. Ada? Edit. Also forgot to mention that the mom was on her phone the entire time, and who I assume was her parents and husband was sitting there talking. Okay, I can accept some people calling me the asshole for talking that way to the little girl instead of her mom, but I won't accept my family being called the asshole for 15 of us being at the hospital. At this time the doctor didn't believe she would make it, and we was getting prepared for her to pass. Before she went into surgery, before she was put on life support, I was the only one there because it wasn't that serious yet. She kept asking who was going to be at the hospital to see her after the surgery and had me call everyone in the family to have them there. As if she knew something was going to go wrong. I really think she just didn't want to be alone. So I definitely not going to apologize for having that many people in the waiting room. This waiting room was huge, and it was only my family and the little girl's family there. For everyone asking, my grandmother is miraculously getting better. She woke up some and started pulling at the ventilator and was even conscious earlier. The doctor still doesn't think she'll make it through, but he was wrong when he said she wouldn't make it through the night. I just hope he's wrong again.